Here we go.
There we go.
So you can't make this shit up.
You can't.
Welcome. This is David Washington. I'm Joel Hoxley. This is Jay in Washington, who is hosting this incredible show. This incredible show. You
Yes.
cannot beat this show because you get to talk about anything and everything. But we're here in Oxford at the Sports Pub and Secret Society, and it's in Altamont Springs. It's in the mall, guys. You got the food is great.
It's
You got
delicious.
to get out here. It just the waffle, the chicken and waffle thing that we had the other day was just had just enough spice to it.
Yes.
It was
The food is
these
good.
chefs. These chefs are on it.
I saw them bring out this big platter of these huge, huge onion rings. I can't eat onions like I used to, but mercy.
Oh yeah, I got the onion rings
That was phenomenal.
the day after
Yeah.
the date that we went to the Sec Rec.
Right,
A bunch of us came here.
right,
It was loud. Man, the guy
Yeah.
that plays the music,
Right.
he's loud.
really.
I mean, I didn't even realize how loud he was. But so I got it, and oh, Matt McMillan comes here a lot,
Yes, yes,
and
he
Matt
does.
McMillan got the shrimp.
Okay,
Freaking shrimp were like this, big.
really.
And I'm not exaggerating. They were a big shrimp.
Oh,
I mean, I was surprised. Like,
yeah. Check this out a little bit further.
so fish and chips is good, but everything is related to the secret society.
Indeed.
Yep. So
Right.
you can't. It's a great place to go.
Hmm.
So it's sad that right this moment it's lunchtime and everybody's not at the mall.
Yeah, maybe they'll get here. School is going to open up soon, or not open
They're
up, but
closing.
closing. For the summer, and
Yeah.
unless the legislature decide to make school year round,
See, I would love that.
I would too. I went to school year
Shorter-
round on some years that my brother and I were in school.
I would shorten the school day. I would shorten the school day.
Okay.
Um, because you can get a lot more accomplished because a longer you get a whole extra semester, right?
Mhm.
You have a whole extra term
Mhm.
that you can
Squeeze in.
squeeze it in. Yeah. So
Right.
and what is summer vacation? What is summer vacation other than uh, I guess it's for planning a vacation.
Working.
You can give a week off for Christmas. You get a week off for Easter. You can get a week off in the middle of the summer. I mean,
Sure.
you can have 4 whole weeks off during the.
Keep them busy. Can
Well-
still work, but having those shortened school days, you can work. You can still work for
I,
those students who are old enough to work.
you can get 8 days. I mean, you can get 8 days out of. You can get 8 days. 8 weeks. Excuse me. 8 weeks out of the way they schedule, and you still have the summer just at different time.
Right.
You
Yeah.
actually be able to go somewhere in the winter. You be actually able to go somewhere in the spring. But
Speaking of restaurants and Oxford, this particular topic comes to us from a TikToker who was sitting in a restaurant and she was enjoying her pancakes, and then all of a sudden, the American flag appears on the monitors across the restaurant, and the national anthem started to play, and people stood up and pay homage to the national anthem and the flag, and it freaked her out. It freaked her out to the point where she stated it was by far the most dangerous situation I've ever been in.
really,
Yes. And her hashtags were get out and white people things. And and on the surface, someone who's not familiar with this practice will say, whoa, 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 what's going on here? This is something out of, some dystopian, 1984,
it would have confused.
type of, situation.
Listen, I would have been
And-
confused.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I would have been confused, but not to the point where. I mean, just It's your flag. What do you think they're gonna do?
Well, yeah, but spontaneously the whole restaurant
Of course.
at the same time, and for someone who's never been to that restaurant at that particular time
That's what
where
I'm
that
saying.
occurs, or not used to that happening, it could be kind of off-putting. I get it. I get it.
I don't have a problem with it being off-putting,
Hmm.
but dangerous.
That is.
I mean, come on,
She
like
was she I mean the woman was the female TikToker was black, and so being in a restaurant which appears to be full of white
so.
people,
Patriotism is only for white people.
it freaked her out. It freaked her out.
So patriotism is only for white people because this is white stuff, right?
According to her, that was her hashtag.
I don't get it. I don't get it. These are the problems we have. Like, it's uncomfortable. I would have been uncomfortable, but I would understand why they do it. This is not my restaurant. It isn't a place I frequent. But everybody in that restaurant probably goes there for those reasons.
Right.
This is every morning they're gonna do this at 9 o'clock or whatever time.
I think
This
her
should-
reaction was kind of weird. I mean, the most dangerous place. Really? No one turned around to you and started coming after you. They were just showing their patriotism, and she was obviously in the place that she was not familiar with, and so it was a learning moment for her. Now, would you feel like threatened if you were in a restaurant that served, a meal, and then all of a sudden, at a particular time, the American flag is displayed on the monitors and the Black national anthem is played, and everyone rises for that and sings.
It could be
voice.
It could be a lot of things. Look, I could be in a bar, where I could be in a bar someplace, and you know it leans a little bit to the left, and maybe they play the national anthem and everybody kneels. I mean, that would make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, but threatened.
Right. Good point.
As soon as they're done praying, they're coming after me.
Right. If you're not expecting it, I can understand a reaction, but to say on TikTok, on a public forum,
And she didn't even
the
tape the place.
most dangerous. She did.
She taped
She
the actual
recorded.
place and then
She
said it. Okay,
recorded. Yes, she recorded
I gotta
what
see
was
the TikTok.
happening.
See,
I'm
not literally
we
got. Yeah,
we got the link. We got the link
I
to the
really just got
the
to see it
MSN
because
.com article.
I
Yeah,
didn't see it.
it's
yeah.
in there, and yeah, she records them.
Oh, that's
and,
fine.
doing their thing. Yeah. And again, when you look at it
I
and
wanna-
you look at the what is it, the headline of the article, I get this reaction, say, oh shit, what's going on now?
Oh, so
But then as I read through it, Mission Barbecue, as we were stating offline,
Mhm.
Mission Barbecue does this every day at noon in remembrance of 9/11.
no, because they serve. Their mission is veterans, soldiers, and
EMS
and first responders. I mean,
Mhm.
they're all over the wall. I mean, you go in there, you see all the patches, you see all this tributes.
which is understandable. I mean, that I'm sure people kind of reacted, but however, I mean, when you walk up to a Mission Barbecue, you see the smoker is a military vehicle.
Yeah, it's like a 5-ton. It's a 5-ton truck out front. It's
Mhm.
it's painted green, and it has it's a definite. It's military.
Mhm.
They're doing something. The mission comes from somewhere,
Right.
But my first time. Now my wife went there first, and my daughter,
Mhm.
because I don't eat barbecue.
Right.
Like Sonny's, it kicks my acid reflux. Everything like barbecue does that, but everything. The Republicans always have barbecue. Like we go to something, there's always barbecue. So I'm always feeling a little bit.
I enjoy going to
So-
Republican functions. Get that barbecue.
But so my wife's like, I think you'd like this.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'll try it. So I go in there. I was a little like, oh, wow, that's a little over the top.
Right.
I mean, I'm looking at it like, wow, this is even more than I expect, right? This,
Really?
all of this everywhere, all over the entire place.
Reglia,
It's like going to that place,
regalia.
like going to that place that has the license plates all over the wall.
Sure, sure. Okay.
But it's just like it's overwhelming. It's like really great.
Right.
It gives you a good feeling. And then I'm military, so they take care of me. And listen, the portions aren't small.
Okay. I've never been there, and
Well, it's
I'm
got to be
looking
on.
forward to the day to be there.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's right next to. For me, it's right next to Dairy Queen, which is my favorite. Like that's my vice right there. We would drive down the street, and
Right.
I'd say, "Oh, the car is starting to break down," and it always broke down at Dairy Queen, and I always fixed it after we got ice cream. So
Right.
my kids used to love that.
Yeah, I think this lady had a reaction that was just a little bit over the top. I know one of the comments to her TikTok said, "Hey, if you don't like this, then go back to
And
Africa."
I don't defend that.
That was kind of
Like I don't defend that.
that in itself was harsh, also.
Yeah, I don't defend that because that's just you know if somebody in the place were to do something like that, then I feel that she could feel threatened.
Right.
But I would feel threatened by the person that put it on there
Mm-hmm.
because they're retaliating on you,
Mm-hmm.
and this virtual hatred is just
Just after 9/11, when baseball games resumed and they would play, the Star Spangled Banner. I
God bless it.
believe at the
They
time doing the seventh inning stretch.
no, they
And
played the
God bless America.
God bless America,
Right.
and everybody treats it like the
I know.
everybody treats it like the this is what gets me. You are not going to get me to put my hand on my heart. You're not going to get me to do anything
Right.
for this song, but everybody seems to do it. Like
Right.
they all stand
Well,
up, they
I-
salute and they do
I
that.
would sit there and finish my, my hot dog or
Listen, I
Italian
love the
sausage or
song.
whatever.
Listen, I love
Right.
the song. It's a beautiful song,
Sure.
but it is not like it's not in our laws. It's not one of those things that says that's my national anthem.
Right. Right.
If you say the Pledge of Allegiance, I stand.
Right.
Okay. If you do certain
I see.
things, I do.
And see, I personally protested the Pledge of Allegiance in public spaces just no during the Gulf War, just before the Gulf War and during the Gulf War, because I thought our involvement in Iraq was wrong. And so I did not salute, I did not pledge allegiance or anything like that. That was my own personal protest. Okay. And I got funny looks. No one approached me about what I was doing.
But you
But-
have the right to
but I
do
have the
that.
right
in
to
this
do
country.
that.
This is what I love
Right.
about this country. David,
Freedom.
burn my flag. Make me, I'll have a vitriol feeling.
Freedom.
I'll be so angry.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I know you have the right.
That's correct.
And just as because you've insulted me, look, I'm going to insult you and I might not even intentionally do it.
Or it may not, again, it's not intentional. It's a personal statement about how I feel about the current status of America, which everyone is entitled to
Yeah.
do.
No, I agree.
So-
Like this revolution that we're talking about, like I'll tell you what the revolution is. I'll tell you the history. I'm always into history, but this is nothing like they're talking about with England and the United States. This is nothing like that. But you have some Republicans that are all live free or die, and going a little bit further than that. And that's where is Pitt? I'm very patriotic. I served in the United States Army.
Yes.
I love my country. Absolutely, 100%. I even like my party
Mhm.
because of its history. I don't like what's going on right now
Right.
on a lot of things, but you can't compare this to the American Revolution.
No.
That your president, that the president was, not voted in, or just the things that they say, like changing the Constitution. To tell me the vice president could actually freaked me out that the vice president had the power to choose who the president was. Like I read the Constitution. I read these things. I read a lot, and guess what? I didn't read it that way. I couldn't read it that way. Every time I looked at it, I was trying to say, what are they seeing? Like the punctuation doesn't work here.
Stuart Rhodes and the Proud Boys thought differently. They were charged and convicted of what was it?
Seditious.
Seditious conspiracy.
Thank you.
And
I'll help you out. Help
thank
me
you,
out.
thank you. And for some reason or another, people get in their minds that there were injustices.
Well, being in public relations, I'm going to take a deep breath because this is where I differ with my party, a lot of the party people. If you say something long enough, I tell people that Donald Trump had lost the election 2 years prior to running because he started saying it then, if I don't win, this has been fixed. And he would say it over and over and over again. That is in your mind when he didn't have the votes in the electoral college and he had lost certain places. For me, I went to which places did he lose?
Mm-hmm.
Arizona. He shouldn't have lost Arizona, but he lost Arizona. Oh, it's fixed. No, it's not fixed. It's the fact that you decided to have a fight with one of the most popular senators they've ever had. I mean, you had that fight, not anybody else. So you say, okay, so Arizona. Well, I don't see how it could have been that. And then you have tariffs. So places that you had won because the working man has decided that you're the guy, which they did. That's how he got elected. Because how do you get these, blue collar workers? He did, but he didn't have them the second time. You know why you didn't have them the second time? Because you put tariffs in there. Things that the Republicans don't do affected that election for me. And that's because I know if you say something enough, if you do, your vision is on something, it sits in their head, and all of a sudden that election, you're expecting him to win because there's no way he can lose. He's already said that. He said that for 2 years. He said that.
Not the smartest or the most patriotic thing to do.
Yeah, and I'm just saying you can't go to those extremes.
You can't.
Patriotism is it's something that you either embrace or you don't. And like you said, you have times that you want to protest, and there's things that you can do to protest. When now Kaepernick. See, this is
Colin Kaepernick.
yeah. When he kneeled, I said, "Oh, that's interesting. Hey, I never thought of that. He's praying." I listen. Everybody, even though he was protesting, it didn't bother me because listen, just because he's not doing the things that are supposed to do, he was at least he was in a form that he was respecting God. He was respecting something. I mean, he was protesting, but for God's sakes, people go so crazy. It's crazy. Like, I don't get it. This is a free country. I didn't agree with him, but I didn't disagree with him either.
Right.
So this lady's crazy. And I just say she's crazy because listen, you went to that restaurant. You didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But you radicalized your post. You made it cross the line.
It doesn't move the argument forward. It doesn't move.
It gets you
understanding.
It's
forward.
clickbait. It's clickbait. And you know what? And those people, shame on you.
Yep.
If you're the ones who clicked on it, shame on the guy that had that comment about sending it back, because that was just, she invited that comment, but he he went.
Perpetuated the
he-
garbage.
She said,
the
"I'm going here."
negativity.
You shouldn't. He
Right.
shouldn't have clicked on it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
ignore it. Ignore ignorance, and you'll be fine.
We can do better.
Yeah.
We can do better.
So I'm on the side of the restaurant.
I'm with you on the restaurant side. I mean, I think I know that her response was over the top and ignorant, and
She should be banned from TikTok.
Freedom, ban freedom.
Hey.
She has the freedom to TikTok. We have the freedom to criticize her for the garbage she puts out there.
I'm crying over here.
This is You Can't Make This Shit Up. That's Joel. I'm David. Like, share, hit the notification, join our community. We're out.
That was funny.